Good morning, and thank you for including me in the second gathering of the International Entrepreneurship and Leadership Summit. I very much appreciate this opportunity to address this distinguished gathering. As a former Silicon Valley entrepreneur and chair of the Forum for Women Entrepreneurs and Executives in Silicon Valley, I appreciate the leadership you are bringing to promoting our mutual mission, gender equality for prosperity. Even in Silicon Valley, where we pride ourselves on being on the leading edge, less than 5% of public company board members are women. However, what we in this room understand is that gender equity is not a women's issue, but rather a key strategy to achieve prosperity. The evidence is now clear. To achieve their full economic potential, countries must foster gender equality. In 2008, in their report called Half the Sky, Goldman Sachs looked at the impact of increased women participation in the workforce. They found that the gender gap in labor force participation rates in Turkey, for example, was over 50%, and that narrowing it to 25% over the next decade would result in incremental gains in the average annual GDP growth rates of roughly 1.5%. The effect would also be seen in a 14% growth rate in income per capita. In 2007, McKinsey conducted a study assessing the impact of gender diversity on the performance and financials of companies. It showed that companies where women are most strongly represented at the board or top management level are also the companies that perform best on both organizational criteria and on financial measures. The story is similar with women entrepreneurs. In the U.S., where only 2.4% of women-owned businesses get to $1 million in revenue, they represent 23 million jobs and $3 trillion in revenue. For each 1% increase in the number of these small and medium-sized businesses adds 230,000 jobs and $30 billion to the economy. We cannot afford to ignore opportunities like this. So what's holding us back? We continue to see that despite greater awareness, old paradigms persist in the workplace, specifically the fact that women all over the world still bear the brunt of family responsibilities prevents them from realizing their full potential in the workplace. In many countries, there are laws and regulations that limit women's participation in the economy. For example, here in Turkey, as you probably know, women cannot work in all the same industries as men can, nor can they work the same night hours. Finally, the absence of role models and mentors has been shown to affect the success of women in the workplace. At the State Department, however, not only is the Secretary a woman, so are many of the other leaders in the organization. Most notably, the Secretary appointed for the very first time even ever an ambassador at large for global women's issues, Ambassador Milan Verveer. Beyond this, because we believe that the government has an important role to play in fostering gender equality, we have launched several programs to benefit women entrepreneurs. A few weeks ago, at the Presidential Summit on Entrepreneurship, we launched the Global Entrepreneurship Program. This embassy-driven program aimed to promote entrepreneurship in emerging economies is by coordinating with partners to enhance the ecosystem for entrepreneurship. Part of the Global Entrepreneurship Program is an e-mentor core, which will provide promising entrepreneurs access to mentors through an online platform. While the Global Entrepreneurship Program is not exclusively for women, we are committed to ensuring strong representation by women. Another new initiative we are launching is the Global Women's Business Initiative, which will focus on working through various multilaterals such as the OECD, APEC, and AGOA to encourage other governments to create environments that foster entrepreneurship and leadership among women. In this work, and through other initiatives, we look forward to working together. Like you, we believe that increasing women's leadership is not just a women's issue. It is a strategy for prosperity. by leveraging the diversity of experience, perspective, talents, and the skills that women bring to leadership and entrepreneurship, we know we will have a better outcome for all. We recognize that it is not a question of whether women can be leaders, but rather an understanding that some leaders are born women. And given the challenges of our time, this world needs all the good leaders we can get. Thank you.